Welcome to the Pitchin and Sippin podcast, where we talk PR trends and tips over sips and meet a wide range of incredible founders, PR pros, and members of the media. I'm Lexie Smith, a former workaholic VP of PR and marketing turned two-time entrepreneur, founder of the PR Bar Inc., business and PR coach, new mama, and self-proclaimed connoisseur of puns, pizza, and wine. I'm a huge believer that knowledge is power and kindness never goes out of style. Think of this show as a way to uplevel your business and career over happy hour. Now let's get to pitchin' and sippin'. Okay guys, Minisode time. I was sitting here this morning in agency land with my team, and we were going through pitches that landed and didn't land, as you know, name of the game. And I was inspired to hop on and record this Minisode specifically to talk about 4 different things you can do with your pitches that do not land. Do not. The ones that were likely brilliant but didn't land. Okay, so first things first, you need to make sure that whatever article you pitched for, let's say it was a source through quoted or Haro, what have you, hasn't been published, right? What we don't want to do is miss that it was published and that they did use our pitch and then essentially steal the content, right? So if you are positive that your pitch did not land, and you are confident that it was gold, whether it was collected quotes that you had from a client or just a really, really great angle that you had compiled with data, what do? Do you just let it go to die in your email inbox? I am here with a PSA today on a soapbox to say no. No. There is something that we can do with all of that hard work. So first things first, save them. Save them. Whatever system you use, save your pitches. So for my team, we use ClickUp and we attach docs to each of our pitches. We also use Google Docs from time to time. So all of our pitches are stored and saved in both ClickUp and Google Docs, okay? So it almost becomes a searchable catalog that we can go through. I have other clients on the coaching side who use Notion. Notion is another great system. If you have a paid platform like Cision or Muckrack, there's elements within there, but regardless of what system you use, save the pitches. And I have a couple different suggestions here on how to save them effectively. So yes, you can save the entire pitch as is verbatim, but also if there were data points that you found or quotables, pull those out and have them on its own document. So let's say you have a client. I'll just talk about my client, for example. I have a client right now on the agency side. They are a travel technology company, and there's a lot of data that we are using in our pitching process. So all the data that we're finding and the way that we're phrasing and integrating that data into our pitches, we are saving on a singular document for reference if we want to use them again. Similarly, if our client provides a great quote, we are saving the quotes on a quote document in ClickUp, right? So we are basically working smarter, not harder. So step number 1 is to save them. Number 2, repurpose. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can repurpose a missed pitch or a pitch that didn't land. Depends. You have to be objective once again, like really consider why didn't it land and make sure that it's good content. But if it is good content, first and foremost, you can pull that content and create something owned for your client or for yourself. Something owned could be a blog post. Something owned could be a social media post or a series of social media posts. If your client or you put together, for example, 5 tips for a quoted or Haro query that didn't get picked up, boom, you now have a carousel or a reel or a great LinkedIn post, right? You can also expand upon it and go long form blog content. So again, repurpose those pitches. Furthermore, on the repurpose note, number 3 is to repurpose some of that content for additional or future pitches. Again, let's say you use some really, really great data points and you put on your word wizard hat and the way you worded it and tied it into the angle was really, really gold. You don't know why the journalist didn't pick it up, but there's no reason if they didn't use it that you can't take that wording and integrate it into another pitch if relevant. It's something we do all the time. Again, why we save our pitches so that we don't always have to reinvent the wheel if we don't have to. So yes, you can repurpose for content like blogs and social media, but you can also reuse some of that in future pitching. And then the last one I wanted to talk about is dependent on the type of content or the type of pitch, go for the byline. Meaning, if they didn't pick it up, if they're not going to write about it, you can write about it. Your client can write about it, right? So while posting on your blog is great, depending on the goals of the client and their credentials, there might be an opportunity to take, let's say that those 5 tips and turn it into a byline, which, as a quick reminder, a byline is where you're the author or your client's the author, written by them themselves in a publication. So you could pitch a byline for Well and Good. You could pitch a byline for Harvard Business Review. Again, make sure it's relevant. But if your pitch isn't landing with someone else to write about it, there's no reason you can't take charge, put on that thought leader hat, and go for the byline yourself. So quick one today, just wanted to hop on and talk about 4 things that you can do with your pitches that do not land. If you have any questions, per always, you can reach me on Instagram. I hang out there quite frequently at theprbarinc.com. Reach out, and until next time on the Pitchin and Sippin podcast. Hey guys, if you are enjoying the Pitchin and Sippin podcast, please do me a huge favor and leave a review wherever you are listening. If you want to connect with me to learn more about the PR Bar Inc., you can do so on Instagram at thePRBar_Inc., or you can check out my website at theprbarinc.com. Cheers!